Hi, love, and welcome back to Metamorphosis, a healing journey. I'm your host, Tyra Wright, and today's episode is a little personal, but also really special to me. In August of last year, I did something that represented a completely new chapter in my life. I moved out on my own away from my husband. Now, for some people, that might sound simple, but for me, it represented something deeper. It represented growth. It represented healing. And honestly, it represented courage. For a long time in my life, I was used to surviving relationships, surviving heartbreak, surviving loss. When you've lived through emotional pain, abusive relationships, or environments where peace didn't always exist, the idea of building a life that feels safe can feel also unfamiliar. But healing changes you. And as I've been growing, I started realizing something important. I deserve peace, not chaos, not confusion, not survival mode. Peace. Moving into my own space in August wasn't just about an apartment or a house. It was about creating a life that finally reflects the woman I've become. A life where I can breathe. A life where my nervous system can finally rest. A life where I get to choose what my environment feels like. And that is powerful. Sometimes starting over feels scary, but sometimes starting over is exactly what your soul needs. Butterflies don't transform while everyone is watching. They go into a cocoon, a quiet place, a private space where change happens. And that's how I'm choosing to see this season of my life, my cocoon season. This week's affirmations. I give myself permission to start over. My new beginning is not a setback. It is a transformation. I am proud of the courage it takes to build a life that reflects my healing. I deserve peace, stability, and a space that feels safe. This new chapter is creating the life I've always deserved. This week's journal prompt. What does starting over mean to me in this season of my life? What fears do I have about beginning a new chapter, and where do those fears come from? What parts of my life no longer align with the person I'm becoming? What would my ideal peaceful living environment look like? In what ways has my past prepared me for the new chapter I'm stepping into? A reflection prompt for you all. Write a letter to your future self 1 year from now describing the peaceful life you are building. Love, if you're standing at the edge of a new beginning, maybe it's a new home, a new boundary, a new version of yourself, I just want to remind you of this. Starting over isn't failure. Sometimes it's the most powerful decision you'll ever make. And sometimes it's the beginning of your metamorphosis. Remember, love, I healed me for me so that I can learn to love me properly. Mwah.